Hi, this is Wayne Blau with another smart profit maximizing moment. Today we're going to talk about never totally trusting your bookkeeper. You never should. And we're going to talk about why and what you should do. Even when you have a bookkeeper, what things you should never give up. Hey, let me introduce myself more properly. My name is Wayne Blau. I'm a local CPA. I'm the founder of a CPA firm in El Paso, Texas, since 1991. It's been doing this a long time. Actually started doing that long before then, while I was in college in the mid-70s. Passed the CPA exam in the 70s also, so it was a good decade, I guess. During that since then, really what we do at our firm is we do three things. We do tax returns, which we're in the middle of doing right now. It's tax season, so make sure you don't forget. Get to your CPA or your tax preparer no later than March 31st. If you come after that date, iffy. Okay, whether it'll get done on time. Okay, second thing you're looking for, second thing we do is tax planning. We've saved our clients over $4.3 million in the last 3 years, all legally. Like I keep saying, we like our clients, but we're not planning on spending, going to jail with them. And the third thing we do is profit coaching to help them make more money. And this is part of that. This is the smart profit maximizing system. Watch yesterday's. At the tail end of it, I detailed what makes up the smart profit maximizing system, which is designed to help you jumpstart your business. Okay. What I want to look at, boy, talk about brain freeze. It's Tuesday. I should be awake. It's a beautiful day outside too. Over the years, I've spoken to literally hundreds, thousands of business owners, and tons of them have had trouble with their bookkeepers. The lucky ones only got incompetent ones. They got ones that say they knew what they were doing but didn't, all right? Or lazy bookkeepers who only provide financial statements that were so wrong they were useless to management. They don't take the time to learn what they should do. The unlucky ones hired bookkeepers who stole thousands of dollars from them. Last year, had 4 pretty good sized cases. I had one that stole close to $500,000, another about $250,000, another about $100,000, another right around $25,000. So, they really, and this isn't that unusual, unfortunately. Those sizes are unusual, but not really. Google bookkeeper fraud and just start reading. You'd be amazed. If I want to steal from somebody, if I want to be a crook, my best bet is to be a fraudulent bookkeeper. My job is to get hired as the trusted bookkeeper. And because business owners are busy, and they're usually very good at their competency, whatever that may be. All right? A good CPA, well, that's probably a bad example. Good dentist, good plumber, good electrician. All right? And they know they're supposed to keep books because that darn IRS wants a tax return. We just talked about that earlier. And the bank wants a financial statement. And I guess I should know what I have, so whether I have enough money to pay all the bills. So, to them, it's a checklist of things we need to do. Hire a bookkeeper. There we go. Hand it to them. And as you see them more and more, you start to hand more and more stuff to them. You get busy out in the field. People need checks, so you give them checks. You give them a few signed checks. After a while, you give them the credit card so they can go buy stuff. The idea is that they're so trusted, you can't really, they wouldn't steal from you. Of course not. And that's what makes it sad. In a couple of occasions, at least 2 of the ones that happened last year, they were good friends of the business owner. And when I mentioned some things that, hey, you got to be careful with this. Oh, no, she's a friend of ours, so it's very difficult. If you're unlucky enough to hire an embezzler, a real thief, you'll know pretty quick because they get going pretty fast. But a lot of times it starts slow. Somebody runs into trouble. They take $100. You don't notice. They mean to put it back, but it never really gets better. A lot of things happen, especially if you receive cash. Cash isn't booked. But I had another one. Had one last year where they had a bank account they thought they had closed. The bookkeeper didn't close it. They didn't close it. They forgot about it. Bookkeeper was able to divert customer funds to be directly deposited into that account, and then really just mangled the books dramatically. It's cost them a ton of money to fix above and beyond the $250,000 that she got away with. Luckily, this is a business that was making really good profits, but it still stings, trust me. The employer often thinks the CPA is going to find it. Wrong. Read the engagement letter every CPA will give you. We're not doing a theft audit, all right? We're hired to do tax returns or financial statements, but we're not performing an audit. Matter of fact, 99% of the financials that are done by CPAs are what's called compilations. We're basically taking your records and trying to put financial statements from them, okay? If it isn't booked, if it isn't there, we're not going to find it. We're not going to see it. We're not doing that kind of an audit. And audits aren't a panacea. I mean, remember Enron, if you're old enough to remember Enron. They were audited by one of the big eight at the time, Arthur Andersen. They're gone because of Enron, all right? Massive fraud. And it happens over and over again because even an audit will not necessarily catch fraud. Only a fraud audit will most likely get it. Usually, I can tell you truthfully, I can come up with a dozen different ways that I could steal from a company and most likely not get caught. I've seen everything. I mean, when I was at Magnolia Coca-Cola, we ran into so many different ways people would steal. It's almost annoying, if they would just spend that much time actually doing their job rather than trying to steal from people. So what should the business owner be doing, all right? Business owner, there's at least 5 things that I wrote business owners should do themselves and never give to the bookkeeper. First and foremost, sign every check. Before you do that, though, every check that is given to them should have all the relevant information. It should have the purchase order. If you don't have a purchase order, you should. Nothing should be purchased without the proper approval. And you can do like I did at that many places, and I do even at this firm. Under a certain amount, go ahead and buy what we need, okay? But make sure it's approached. Make sure the invoice is there. Make sure the receiving statement is there so you know you actually received what we're talking about. Make sure you know what the heck it is, and then go ahead and send it in. Second, business owners should make the deposit every day and compare it to the daily cash receipt report. If you don't have one, you better call your CPA and get one designed, okay? You need to have a report of what came in that day and have it compared to what was deposited. Now, this is getting a little trickier, like I said, because more and more stuff is being automatically deposited, which is, good for you. But in the example I gave you, make sure it's going to the right bank account, all right? Because that's how you can still steal. Number 3, the business owner must control all access to company and personal credit and debit cards. Be sure not to share your passwords. You don't want a card being delivered to the bookkeeper that you don't even know about. Open the statements, all right? Open all bank statements and credit card statements and review the bank credit card activity online. Truthfully, daily or weekly is even better. Make sure you get in the habit of doing it. Most of these will let you, my bank card has the ability for me to see any check. It'll notify me anytime there's a reduction, credit, something taken out of my bank of more than $125. I can set that at whatever I want, okay? So set that up for yourself so that you get a warning anytime something unusual happens. You or your representative must reconcile the bank accounts and the credit card accounts monthly. That is key, all right? That is key. Even if you have a bookkeeper, you should have an external person reviewing it at least quarterly to make sure the bank statements are reconciled, all right? Get a CPA, a bookkeeper, somebody you trust. Do it yourself. It's not that hard, all right? Remember, the job of a good professional embezzler is to become the trusted bookkeeper. Never, ever totally trust your bookkeeper, all right? They can get away with stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars and get a slap on the wrist. A bank auditor, a bank robber, I almost have more respect for them because they come in with a mask and tell you what they're there for. Embezzler comes in as your friend, the bookkeeper, all right? Be very careful. This is serious. This is not, I've seen companies go out of business, and the emotional toll this takes of somebody that you trusted stealing from you is not something you want to go through. And until next time, this is Wayne Blau saying, let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.